So today we're tapping to stop worrying about what others think. So this is for all of the people pleasers out there. Now, people pleasing is basically when you put others' needs before your own, right? So when you put other people's needs ahead of yourself to gain their approval, basically, right? So the people pleasing and the really caring about what people think, they can come from a few different places. And it's important to kind of ask yourself where that comes from, right? So maybe that's something you can take some time and journal about and find out like where does that behavior come from? What does it stem from? And once you know where it comes from, it's easier to work with it, right? And be honest, right? This is just for you, right? So be honest. What is that about? What am I afraid of? What would happen if somebody didn't like me? What would happen if somebody thought I wasn't perfect, right? So ask yourself some of those questions and see if you can trace back where that behavior started. And then you can kind of move through and figure out how to work on it more from that point. Um, Now, when you're trying to get over being a people pleaser and being really concerned with what people think and putting your needs last and putting everybody before you, um, the one thing, the main thing everybody tells you is to just say no. No, practice saying no. And it's true. But that's also very, very, very hard to do, especially as a people pleaser. It's like a little piece of you dies every time you say no, right? It's really hard. So instead of saying no, pause. Don't just say yes. Don't just say okay. Take a moment, take a breath. Um, Say, can I get back to you? Can I let you know? Right? Because then you can kind of go, okay, can I do this? Do I really want to do this? Right? So that's a good way to kind of give yourself that buffer so you don't immediately say yes and so that you can kind of work your way up to the no. If you can just straight out say no, say no. Unless it's something that you can do, that you want to do, right? There are times where we do want to do things for other people. But if you're doing something and you're burning out because you have too much on your plate and you just keep saying yes, you got to start saying no, right? You have to start balancing it so that you are taking care of yourself. So a good way is to pause, take a breath, let them know, let me get back to you. I'll let you know if I can do that or not. I have to check my schedule, whatever the case may be. Give yourself that buffer. Um, Another thing that's really important, and this is another hard one, is stop apologizing. This was probably the hardest part. This was probably even harder than me saying no. Oh, I'm so sorry I can't. I'm so sorry this. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so like sorry was just first thing out of my mouth every time. And yes, I'm Canadian, so that's part of it. But it was more than that, right? It's hard to you feel bad, and you shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad that you have boundaries. You shouldn't feel bad that you are taking care of your own needs, that you are preventing yourself from burning out. So don't apologize. You don't have to say sorry every time you say no. You don't have to be mean about it, but you don't have to say sorry. You can just say, well, you know what, I can't, I have things to do, right? So try to cut back on the apologies because the apologies, it's almost like saying you did something wrong and you will feel bad about that. You're internalizing that feeling of guilt by saying sorry every time you say no, every time you respect your own boundaries. So try to cut out some of the apologies and see how that works for you and if that helps you out a little bit. So on that note, why don't we get ready to do some tapping? So if you want to just get comfortable, and if you haven't tapped with me, it's super easy. We're just going to go through. You're just going to do what I say, do what I say, do what I do, say. We're going to trip over our tongue a few times, do what I do, say what I say. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth. So yeah, just follow along. There we go. That's even easier. Just follow along, and we're just going to tap on the tapping points really lightly. It doesn't matter which side you tap on, your right or your left, whatever's comfortable. You don't want to tap too hard. You're not trying to leave bruises. You're just trying to wake everything up a little bit. What else? I think that's it. Also, if what I'm saying while we're tapping isn't resonating with you, feel free to change the words. Feel free to change the script. Whatever comes up for you, use that. If you're like, oh, I don't like that, but I really feel like saying this, say it. Or if you don't feel like saying anything, just sit with the feelings, right? Because that's the really important part. It isn't so much the words. We use the words to invoke the feelings, right? It's the feelings, it's tapping on the feelings that create the change. Okay? So, on that note, let's get comfortable. And I want you to think about your people pleasing. I want you to think about how often you put other people's needs before your own. How often do you think, oh, I can't do that. What will people think? Right? How terrified are you for people to find out you're not perfect? What would that feel like for you? For people to know that, sometimes you just lay on the couch and do nothing, that you're not always running around taking care of everybody, right? So think about those feelings, right? And from a scale from 1 to 10, sorry, I'm really having a hard time speaking tonight. On a scale from 1 to 10, I want you to rate your people pleasing. So 1 being you've got really good boundaries, and 10 being you have no boundaries at all. You just take care of everybody else. You worry constantly what people will think of you. You will bend over backwards to make people like you. Okay, so that's 10. I want you to kind of keep that number in mind, and we're going to check back at the end and see if you feel like you can shift that number a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start today on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. We're just going to tap lightly and repeat. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, so we're going to move to the top of the head, right in the center. I feel so much pressure to make everyone happy. Inside corner of the eyebrow. It's exhausting. Outside corner of the eyebrow. But I can't say no. Under the eye. I don't want to disappoint anyone. Under the nose. That would make me feel terrible. Center of the chin. What if they decided they didn't like me? Collarbone. I don't think I could stand that. Under the arm, about 4 inches down. I want everyone to like me. Bottom corner of the thumbnail. I want everyone to feel good. Index fingernail. Even if it makes me feel bad. Middle fingernail. I want to please everyone. Baby finger. That's just who I am. and back to the karate chop point. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, so we're just going to take a moment, let our shoulders relax, take some nice cleansing breaths in and out. Another inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to go back to the karate chop point. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, we're going to go back to the top of the head. I care what people think of me. Inside corner of the eyebrow. I don't want them to judge me. Outside corner of the eyebrow. People's opinions matter to me. Under the eye. I worry about how they'll see me. Under the nose. It's actually really stressful. Chin. I'm so busy trying to please everyone. Collarbone. That my own needs don't always get met. Under the arm, 4 inches down. But that's what it takes to be a good person. Bottom corner of the thumbnail. You need to put other people first. Index finger. Don't you? Middle finger. Would putting myself first sometimes make me a bad person? Baby finger. Would it make people like me less? Back to the karate chop point. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, so we're going to take a few more cleansing breaths. And just let that round kind of sink in there. Another inhale and exhale. Okay, so we're going to go straight to the top of the head this round. I need to stop people pleasing. Inside corner of the eyebrow. It's time to start looking after myself. Outside corner of the eyebrow. I don't need everyone to like me. Under the eye. I'm a good person. Under the nose. And that's enough. Chin. It's okay for me to say no. Collarbone. It's okay for me to take care of myself. Under the arm, 4 inches down. I'm not responsible for other people's happiness. bottom corner of the thumbnail. I'm only responsible for my own. Index fingernail. I'm letting go of the worry and the need to control. Middle finger. I'm letting go of the need to please others. Baby finger. Because the only opinion that matters is my own. Let's do that one more time. The only opinion that matters is my own. Okay, back to the karate chop point. Even though I worry about what everyone will think of me, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay. So you can close your eyes if you like, or you can leave them open. And you're just going to take some nice cleansing breaths. And just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And on your next inhale, I want you to imagine that you're breathing in through your heart. So you're going to breathe in through your heart, and then you're going to breathe out through your heart. Breathe in through your heart, and breathe out through your heart. Breathe in through your heart, and out through your heart. And you're just going to keep breathing like that for a few moments. Breathe in through your heart, and out through your heart. Breathe in through your heart, and out. And when you're ready, I want you to start to become aware of the room. Feel the surface beneath you. Maybe open your eyes if you had them closed, and just look around the room. Take notice. Just notice everything that's in the room, what's around you. Okay. So how was that, guys? How are you feeling? I want you to go back and rate yourself again. So 1 being you have great boundaries, and 10 being you have terrible boundaries, and you are always worried about what other people think. And I want you to see if that number from the beginning of the tapping has shifted a little bit for you. And just feel it. Like, do you feel like you could move that number down a bit? Like, maybe you could let go of a little bit of that people pleasing now. Maybe you have a bit of a better understanding of why you care so much about what other people think, and you don't feel the need to hang on to that as tightly anymore. You know, maybe you realize that being concerned with everybody else's needs doesn't make you a good person. You're already a good person, so maybe you can let go a little bit. Okay, so let me know how that feels for you, and if that number feels like it can shift a little bit. So let me know down in the comments. Yeah, so I'd be curious to hear how you guys felt about that one, because I know people pleasing is a tricky thing, and I'd also be curious to hear what people pleasing means to you. Why do you feel so concerned about what other people think? Is it that, you're worried that you're not a nice person? Is it worried that you'll lose people, right? Is it that abandonment piece, right? Is it that you feel like if you're really good to others, then maybe they'll be good to you back, right? Because there's a lot of play. There's a lot of things going on with that, or that could be going on with that. So let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, I'd love to know how you feel about that, what kind of comes up for you. And let me know too if you are going to do some journaling around this and kind of dig in a little bit and see what's going on for you. Also, feel free to go back. You can tap as many times as you want. So if going through it once doesn't feel like enough, go back and do it again. Yeah, there's no harm in tapping over and over and over again, right? And it's also really relaxing. So feel free to tap as often as you like. And enjoy the rest of your week. And thank you so much for watching. I absolutely adore all of you. You're wonderful. Have a great week. See you next week.